In this video, we will troubleshoot an ITW Dynamini that is giving an E01 fault code. Upon startup, the Dynamini will go through the first scan cycle. If everything is functioning properly, the melter LED next to the temperature symbol will flash as shown here. In this case, the 7-segment display is showing an E01 fault code. Let's take a look at the Dynamini manual to determine what the E01 fault code means. We will use manual number 20-25, revision 7.23. Let's go to the index to find where the troubleshooting guide is located. It looks like troubleshooting information can be found starting on Chapter 7, page 55. Let's go to page 55 and scroll until we find the E01 fault code. Here is the E01 code. It looks like there could be two possible causes. The connection on X4 on the PCB could be loose. If that is the case, all we need to do is restore the connection. Another cause could be that the temperature sensor is inoperative. The guide says to check the sensor resistance and compare it to the resistance table to see if the sensor is within specifications. We will lock and tag out power to the Dynamini before performing the procedure. Then, using a 3mm Allen key, we will remove 2 cap head screws from each side of the electrical cabinet cover. Although not necessary to follow the troubleshooting procedures stated in the manual, we will examine the temperature sensor for proper placement. It's located in between the cast-in heaters, so we will need to remove the hopper cover to access it. Now that we have the covers off, let's take a look at the PCB board and locate X4. It looks like one of the connectors on X4 is loose. Reseating this connector will likely correct the issue. However, let's verify that the sensor is within specs and that it's properly placed in the sensor port. First, let's measure the sensor resistance and compare it to the troubleshooting resistance chart to verify that the resistance complies with the resistance table. We will need to remove the connector to measure the resistance. We're getting 109 ohms. Let's compare this to the resistance table. The resistance table tells us that at room temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is our current hopper temperature, the sensor resistance should be 108. This is very close to the 109 ohms that we measured, so the sensor is within specifications. Let's place the connector back and check the sensor for proper placement. Improper sensor placement will not give an E01 fault. However, since we are already troubleshooting sensor problems, it's a good time to examine the sensor itself. The sensor seems to be inserted properly in the sensor port. Also, it seems like the thermal transfer paste is not dry or missing. If the paste were dry, gently clean the residue from the sensor and apply new paste. Before we put the covers back on, let's verify that the fault is no longer present. The E01 fault code is gone, and the temperature is increasing. Now we're good to put the panel back. Once the Dynamini reaches its set temperature, it will be ready to use.